India's Ministry of External Affairs is taking on a more decisive vocal avatar vis-a-vis China, as is evident. In the 70 years since independence, India and China have clashed several times, but New Delhi has remained largely silent and on the back foot as far as the powerful nuclear neighbour China was concerned. Now, with a firm, new, decisive foreign policy forged over the past 3 years, South Bloc is silent no more. But what have been the main instigators of conflict between the two nations that have enjoyed trade since ancient times? Senior foreign editor Padma Rao takes us through the timeline of the India-China conflict.
Their relationship goes back at least 2,000 years and revolved mostly around trade. But the first clash between India and China came in the 18th century over Tibet and Ladakh. However, and since both sides were preoccupied by other conflicts, they backed off. By the early 50s, both India and China were modern nations. India had just shaken off British rule, while the People's Republic of China was born on the other side of the Himalayas. But the first seed of discontent was sown by the Tibet question. There was disagreement over Aksai Chin, and then, when the Dalai Lama received refuge in India, the Chinese saw it as plain interference. In 1962, the cauldron of mutual discontent boiled over. A short border war erupted. India was defeated and pushed back to within 48 kilometers of the Assam plains in the northeast. China occupied portions of Ladakh. The war sent relations between the two countries into the deepest freeze they had ever known. It was the quiet mountain pass of Nathula in Sikkim that was to be the next flashpoint. In 1967, Chinese troops opened fire at Indian soldiers stationed there. 62 Indian troops lost their lives. The fire wasn't out yet. Just days later, the two sides used machine guns upon each other at Chola, another outpost in Sikkim. 88 Indians and 300 Chinese troops lost their lives. By the early 70s, what had begun as border wars had turned into political maneuvers. Flashpoints remained to date, with the Chinese now beginning to change positions as and when political developments prompt them to. India's military protection of Bhutan was not high on China's list of resentments till the emergence of new political alliances. India's engagement with the United States and Japan is growing. New Delhi has been vocal on Chinese expansionism in the South China Sea. No surprises then that China now has its eye on a hitherto undisputed part of Bhutan. The dragon's breathing fire again, but this time the elephant is not crouching. Padma Rao, WION.